We're here with Sewanee head football coach Tommy Lorendine as the Tigers defeat WNL 21-19 on Saturday. Sewanee's first win over their longtime rivals, the Generals, since September 20th, 2003, when Sewanee defeated WNL 37-13. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win. Just talk about today's performance.
Well, the first half was really ugly offensively. Our defense definitely kept us in the ball game that first half. They played their heart out and held them to 3 and out quite a few times the first half. And we had some things going offensively. We'd make a 10-yard, 12-yard, 14-yard run and call back for holding. We had a lot of foolish penalties the first half, and it really just crushed our spirits offensively. And fortunately, our defense kept playing well the second half, and we were able to put together a nice 11-play drive there in the third quarter that put us on the board, and that really energized us for the rest of the game. And I credit Washington Lee. They hung in there and kept battling with us, and fortunately we were able to put another one on the board, and defense had a big stop. And we dropped a couple interceptions today, had foolish penalties. We tried to give it away at certain times, but that was a huge win for the program. Our seniors, they've been preaching all week that they're 0-3 against them, and they're so happy to get this win over them this year.
You talked about how both offensives kind of struggled early on, then they kind of came alive in the third quarter. I know WNL came out pretty strong on that first drive in the third and got on the board. But then we responded right back, even after some foolish penalties, as you said. Any adjustments we made? I mean, it seems like we finally got Devontae on a long run. Andy Moots was running the ball well at fullback.
Yeah.
And then eventually we get in the end zone. I mean, what adjustments did we make in the second half to kind of get our offense rolling?
Well, I think from a play caller standpoint, myself, Coach Shank and I spoke at halftime. Coach Halligan, we talked about, hey, we're making the right calls. We just weren't executing, and the penalties were killing us. So we just told them at halftime, listen, guys, we're not going to deviate from what we've been doing, what we've worked on in practice all week. We just got to make it work by the execution part of it and stop holding. We were holding out there on the perimeter, on the safeties and the corners, and that's where it's very visible. Holding gets missed a lot inside, but when you get out on the perimeter on a safety or a corner, they see those holds. And I'll be interested to see it on video tomorrow morning, but just to see how deliberate some of the holds were. It was an ugly game, marred by a lot of penalties. I'm very unfortunate that happened. I talked to their head coach after the game, and 2 of their players got hurt, and I wanted him to know that we don't teach unethical blocking schemes by any means. So it was a tough game for both teams, and that. Like I said, just a really nice win for this program. Like you said, we have not beat them in 9 years. So, I guess you could say we were due. So that was a nice win for us.
Well, and I look at it too. One thing that kind of stood out to me on defense, we've got a lot of good players, but one guy that kind of stepped up to me was a newcomer, freshman Glenn Ireland, one of our safeties. Tended to play really well. I mean, what are some things that he's doing right? I mean, I know he's young and needs to learn and continue to learn, but it just seems like he stepped up at numerous times today when we needed it most.
He is a young man he's ahead of his time as far as maturity goes. He played at an outstanding program down at Chattanooga Baylor. He was coached very well down there. And very fortunate to have him in our program. A lot of schools recruited him last year, and his mama lives down there in Lookout Mountain. His dad lives in Birmingham. This was a nice place for him to be, so his parents can watch him play ball. He is going to be a fine player. Did he make some mistakes today? I know one time he did, but heck, that kid can play. He's tall, he's rangy, he can run. He's Coach Evangelista likes to think of him a lot like Murphy Walters, who was a very good corner for us here a couple years ago. So we expect a wonderful career out of Glenn Ireland here.
Last question, Coach. You get this win. We're now 1-1 on the season. Looking ahead next week now, we go back on the road. Just talk about the week ahead and then our upcoming game.
Well, it's going to be a quick week. We hop on a plane in Nashville Friday morning. We're flying to Richmond, Virginia. We'll practice at the University of Richmond to prepare for our 12 noon ball game Saturday with Randolph-Macon. In the past couple of years, Randolph-Macon has won at least 8 ball games. So we got a tough road ahead of us these next 2 weeks. Really, every week's going to be a battle. Okay, that's just the bottom line. It's going to be a battle. So we got to be healthy. If we can stay healthy and we don't beat ourselves with foolish penalties or turning the ball over, we'll be in every ball game this year. I firmly believe that. But we've got to stay healthy. We can't beat ourselves.
Sounds good. Well, the Tigers again defeat WNL 21-19. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Clayton.